Howdy folks, and welcome to Tiny Tent Show, episode number 34. Tonight we bring you a Songwriters Circle featuring the original music of Danielle Diamond, Yazmin Bowers, Randy Sabien, and Ed Willett. Ed, in his role as musical director, asked each of the writers to bring a couple of songs to this musical potluck. They had a rehearsal in Yazmin's driveway. They said it was sunny, so it was lovely to rehearse in the sun, but first time that they'd rehearsed in a driveway. But in the musicians' relaxed camaraderie tonight, in their repartee, you're about to share in the pleasure of what it's like when a group of singer-songwriters circle up simply with the purpose of sharing their work with each other. The off-the-cuff comments, the gentle jabs here and there, but most of all, just the honest reactions of joy upon hearing each other's work. We'll give you a real bird's eye into the process of what it takes to put a show like this together. When it comes to putting a show like this together, of course, I want to, on behalf of all the Lake Superior Big Top Chautauqua crew and musicians and behind the scenes and out front, volunteers, I want to thank you for tuning in and continuing to support Tiny Tent Show. A big thank you to our sponsors as well, and we will thank them by name at the end of the show. Not getting any easier. The folks behind the scenes are working real hard to keep this thing moving ahead. So many of you have already given, and we are grateful for that. If you're able to give more, there is, as always, a virtual tip jar available right in this very instant on screen. And then you can also just contact the Lake Superior Big Top Chautauqua offices and donate through those more formal channels if that interests you. We don't take any of it for granted, and we're just happy to be able to bring you these Tiny Tent Shows. It's what we're doing, you know, as long as we can, and in the face of all the headwinds, frankly, that everybody's dealing with. We certainly isn't just us. Everybody around us, our neighbors, everybody's in the same dang boat at the moment. But for now, let's focus on the joy of time spent between singer-songwriters when they gather up in a beautiful musical circle. Fair enough, tonight they're actually sitting in a straight line, because that's what you got to do. But let's go ahead and join Danielle Diamond, Yazmin Bowers, Randy Sabien, and Ed Willett for fresh music, fresh from their musical potluck.
Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to the tent. We're going to do a show that we're calling Songwriters Circle. You've probably seen that before. And for that, I've invited these amazing songwriters to come up and share a couple of tunes each. And you're going to see us go through down the line and each play our tunes. We've got Danielle Diamond here. I'm Ed Willett. This is Yazmin Bowers and Randy Sabien. So Danielle, why don't you take it away? Then.
Sure. All right. This one's called St. Paul. 2, 3, 4. You packed your bags, you drove away and took my heart along with you. I waved goodbye, but you didn't see. Close your eyes and see me smiling back at you. And I hope that you are happy, 'cause it's all I can do. She is your brand new city, and she is beautiful, she's so damn pretty. With her sparkling lights and busy streets, she's everything I'll never be. I'm small town up against her charm, fighting for the place inside your arms. Now I guess it's up to you after all. Just don't forget what's outside St. Paul. She got your heart right from the start. It cut me deep next to the bone. Now she don't care if I bleed or not. And you begin to settle in. You left our memories back home, packed into a cardboard box. And now I wonder if you ever listened to the songs we danced to way back when. 'Cause I think of them every now and again. She is your brand new city, and she is beautiful. She's so damn pretty, with her sparkling lights and busy streets. She's everything I'll never be. I'm small town up against her charm, fighting for the place inside of your arms. Now I guess it's up to you after all. Just don't forget what's outside St. Paul. Now she has too many things going on to love you right, and too many places to go, and not enough time. But I've got all the time the world could give. Now think of all the life that we could live. I hope you know it's all waiting for you when you come back home. Oh, come back home. She is your brand new city, and she is beautiful. She's so damn pretty, with her sparkling lights and busy streets. She's everything I'll never be. A small town up against her charm, fighting for the place inside of your arms. Now I guess it's up to you after all. Just don't forget, don't forget, don't forget what's outside St. Paul. No, no,
Thank you.
Yeah. Danielle.
Nice.
All right. Well, we're going to continue on with a tune that I wrote. I'm going to tune for a second. Anybody got something just wildly entertaining to say? Randy, you don't have a mic.
Oh, God.
Yes, I do.
See, we always depend on Randy to say something entertaining.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. This is the first time I've been to the tent all summer. You guys, I think, have been up here once or twice
Once.
before, but
Once, yeah.
just to drive up here, you know, at the end of September practically,
I know.
when we're used to being up here multiple times a week, you know, month after month after month, and you drive up here, there's nobody in the parking lot, and no popcorn.
It's weird,
It's
yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
spooky.
Well, hey, I'm gonna do a tune that I wrote a little bit ago. This is called "The Water's Fine," and it's a tune about the polar bear plunge that some folks take in Lake Superior in February, usually, I think. And you know, when you're writing a tune, you're looking for a seed of an idea, and I just wanted to know what it felt like to get all gung-ho about it, because I know they're gung-ho. I've talked to people that do it. They're just gung-ho. But I just want to analyze that first impulse when they actually hit the water. What is that like? Is your reason flashing before your eyes? Do you, I don't know, do you have an out-of-body, hopefully an out-of-body experience? That would be handy. Anyway, this is a song about a couple of fictitious characters, although I have talked to people about doing this. Not that I would ever do it. I'm a swimmer, love to swim, but that's not swimming. That's being a human ice cube, I think is what they call that, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, Norman was a sensible man. Everybody said it was so. He kept his lawn nice and neat. No one ever thought he'd lose control. But then one night he came home to his wife, and she knew right away he was changed. And Norman relayed how he'd found a new way, a piece of the puzzle long lost till that day when it came to him, swim Lake Michigan. But you could hear the regret with his very first step. Jump on in, water's fine. What the hell, I must have lost my mind. Bad idea when I heard it first time. Here to tell it's so much worse than it's all a blur. But I'm pretty sure I had feet when I jumped in. And it's too late now, but I thought somehow my wife and I'd have kids, and I'd give to them this one great pearl before I had to go. Somebody said jump on in, the water's fine. I said no, no, no. Said no, no, no. Said no, no. Now Norma was the sensitive kind. Everybody said it was so. She wore long johns on the 4th of July, never gonna feel that cold wind blow. But then one night, as her clock struck midlife, Norma could feel she was changing. She'd come under the spell of that furnace from hell. Now all she desired was to put out the fire. When it came with a flash, take an iceberg bath, but you could hear the regret with her very first step. Jump on in, the water's fine. What the hell, I must have lost my mind. Bad idea when I heard it first. I'm here to tell it's so much worse and it's all a blur. But I'm pretty sure I had feet when I jumped in. Kinda late to say, but if I had my way, I'd notify my kin, and I'd give to them this one great pearl before I had to go. Somebody said jump on in, the water's fine. You said no, no, no. Said no, no, no. Said no, no. Yeah. It's very serious. We took the plunge, didn't we? So going down the line, Yazmin, what do you got for us? What do you got?
Well, we have a little Spanglish for you. Yeah, I like to mix it up. So this song was one that I wrote a few years ago. I was talking to myself in the car, as you do sometimes.
I do. Yeah. Sure, everybody does that, Yazmin.
Out loud to someone who wasn't there.
Of course. Yes.
Okay, good. You're with me.
Yeah.
Who was my partner? Is my partner. I was kind of summoning this something that I wanted to say to him, which I guess in a nutshell has to do with how I want to live my life. And so it's about taking that moment to really ground yourself and feel what it is to be inside your body. So.
Wow. All in the car.
All in the car, yeah,
Wow.
with no one
Remind
except
me
me.
not to carpool with you. Sorry. No, that's good. That's good.
Well, you know, these kinds of adventures mostly happen when I'm alone. So
Okay, good, good,
don't
good.
worry, it's okay.
I'll be your driver.
So yeah, that was the spark of this song, and so it has this contrast between English and Spanish. And the English part is kind of this bigger picture, looking out and kind of imagining. I just sound crazy. I don't know if any of you ever felt like you've done this before. You know,
Oh, hell yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of this big picture of like, you know, why are we here?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did he ever hear the tune?
He plays it with me.
Oh, wow.
He's my drummer.
You are brave.
Oh, he likes it. That's why we're still together. This is called Recuerda, or Remember. I've been here 1,000 years or so, 1,000 years or more left to go. I've learned a thing or two, but I still don't know much at all, much at all. I've been through the times of falling down, and I've been through the lifting off the ground. I've done a lot of searching, and I finally found it all. I found it all. Respira, mira hacia el cielo, escucha, busca el latido de tu corazón. Párate y siente cada hueso, baila cada emoción, canta libre tu canción y recuerda porque estás aquí. I've been here 100 times or more, and every time is sweeter than before. But tell me why we're always begging life for more. We have it all, we have it all. Respira, mira hacia el cielo, escucha, busca el latido de tu corazón. Párate y siente cada hueso, baila cada emoción, canta libre tu canción y recuerda porque estás aquí, porque estás aquí, porque estás aquí.
your dance, sing your song, and remember why you're here. Respira, mira hacia el cielo, escucha, busca el latido de tu corazón. Párate, siente cada hueso, baila cada emoción, canta libre tu canción y recuerda.
Yazmin.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Well, if that doesn't make him stick around. Yeah, Yazmin's boyfriend has played with the BCO.
Yes, yeah. On Tiny Tent, in fact.
Yes. Yes. He was our first person from Cuba to play on Tiny Tent.
First and only, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
it was.
International collaborations.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a first.
It's amazing what's possible these days.
I know.
You know, it took a while for me to realize that most musicians are available. Really. I mean, if you have a good project, I used to assume, oh, no, I couldn't play with this person. And then I would meet that person. And they'd say, man, you should have called me. You know, as long as you have the right calling card. You know, but everybody's looking for work, especially now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
wow, the projects coming out now are going to be notorious.
Oh yeah.
You're serious, yeah.
It's true.
Hey, Randy, you got a mic. You can talk.
Yes, I do have a microphone.
Oh, way
yes,
to go.
there you go.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I'm honored to be part of the Songwriters Circle, even though it's a straight line. Really quite a
Sorry,
circle,
man.
but let's not get technical about that. Because I don't really consider myself a songwriter, really a violin player and then a multi-instrumentalist, and I write songs for my own amusement mostly. But you called me an amazing songwriter, and I've never been called that before. I've been called an amusing songwriter. Some of you have heard my latest creation, the Ballad of Baronet Bob.
Yeah, I
So,
heard it.
well, this is actually a serious song, and this is written. I was on the road with Jim Post, and I happened to go back to. We were doing a show at the University of Illinois, which I had gone to school for a couple of years, and so this was maybe 3 or 4 years after I'd been there, and I just picked up my guitar and started doing this, and it's kind of the concept of being back to where you were a few years ago and thinking about that person and then this other person a few years later. And also a little bit of Zen and the art of motorcycle maintenance crept in there too. It's titled The Ghost, and that's one of the main themes of that book, Chasing a Ghost.
Right.
There's a ghost on every corner of the towns I've traveled through. I tap him on the shoulder, saying I remember you. I know that he'll be waiting whenever I return to take me back to yesterday and make my memory burn. And I want to hold on and feel like I should stay, but there's a time to remain and a time to go away. I see him in the windows of every place I've been, a silvery reflection of the man who's staring in. No one else can see him, but it's not a mystery, just something I keep chasing. The ghost belongs to me, and I want to hold on and feel like I should stay. There's a time to remain and a time to go away. He'd like me to join him, but it would never last. I've gone so far beyond him, he's locked into the past. Well, there's something that I keep wondering. After I am gone, will the ghost I left behind me still follow me around? Will I still try to hold on and feel like I should stay? There's a time to remain and a time to go away. You know I wanna hold on and feel like I should stay. Don't you know there's a time to remain and a time to go away, time to go away.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I hardly ever perform that song, maybe once or twice.
No
And it's
kidding.
been by myself. To hear the harmony vocals and the cello and the keys, holy smokes.
You did
Now, if
good
I could
job.
just get somebody else to sing it, and we could have some.
No.
Danielle, let's go back to you.
Yeah, okay, so...
Is that right? Yeah, you're
Yeah,
doing it.
So my second song for the night originated out of a creative writing poetry class that I had to take at Northland College. It was probably a year and a half or 2 years ago. But our assignment was to choose a form and write a poem based on whatever form we chose. And I learned there's such a thing as a blues poem.
Really?
Yeah, and so I was like, well, of course I'm going to choose that one because I can make it into a song easily. And, you know, poetry and music are so intertwined. And so I pretty much wrote this blues poem and then presented it as a final, but I got to sing it too. But it had to be sung a cappella. And now this is the first time that I've ever performed it live with an ensemble, and it sounds really, really great. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's called Red, White, and Blues, and although I wrote it a couple years ago, it's still extremely relevant to today's times. This is Red, White, and Blue. Blues, sorry.
Oh, we're deep in the water, floating far from shore. Yes, we're deep in the water, floating far from shore. 'Cause there's fire on the hillside, burning fast and orange, and the children are crying across the borderline. Oh, can you hear them crying across the borderline? But the people in D.C. say they're gonna be just fine. Oh, the liberty We're deep in the water, floating far from shore. We're so deep in the water, floating so far from shore. 'Cause there's fire on the hillside, burning fast, and
Thank you.
All right.
I do have to hand it to you, Danielle, as an English major, you were able to rhyme orange.
Yeah, well,
I don't know if you caught that in the
it's
shore
a near rhyme.
with orange. Close
Yeah,
enough.
close enough,
I
yeah.
bow down to
Yeah,
that.
thank you. I didn't even think of that.
Isn't that one of the few words that doesn't have like
I think so.
many? I don't think it
Yeah.
has any official
No.
rhymes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Bravo.
Well,
No, that's such a powerful song, Danielle.
Oh, thank you.
I love it.
Thank
I really
you.
love playing it with you.
thank you guys for bringing it to life. Again, that was the first time that
All right.
anybody's heard that, so thank you.
Well, I guess it's up to me to bring the mood down. No, I'm gonna do actually an uplifting tune. I wrote it before all the COVID thing happened, but it's certainly apropos as well. So this is called "The Lucky One." I breathe in, I breathe out, I am the lucky one. I breathe in, I breathe out, I am the lucky one. Given one more chance to love again, when so many around me have found their end. So I search for my courage and I think of them and I breathe in. I breathe in, I breathe out, I am the lucky one. I breathe in, I breathe out, I am the lucky one. I see the beginning of a new day spinning, and all of the creatures are rejoicing and singing, just living the graces that makes this life worth living. They breathe in. We breathe in, we breathe out, we are the lucky ones. We breathe in, we breathe out, we are the lucky ones. One more trip around the sun, one more spring to show us she's the only one. One more chance to love her again.
the first time I heard that. I think it was about a year or two ago.
Oh, yeah.
Ugh. That's one of my faves.
All right.
I love that one.
All right.
Oh. Yeah, it's so pretty.
I think the first time I heard it was on stage when you handed me a chart and I had to play it with you.
That sounds about right.
And it was great.
Those moments, just to address that a little bit. Well, like this is like this. We got together one, afternoon in Yazmin's driveway.
Yeah.
That's the first time I rehearsed in a driveway. So all kinds of COVID-ish.
Add that to the list.
COVID-ish. Anyway, there's something really cool about the first time a band plays together, or in this. And we've all played together in different configurations, but we haven't played any of these tunes together except this one. This one we played together. But I love that. I mean, when you've got a lot of time and with a band, that's a special thing too, because then you can, you've got your foundation and you don't have to worry about, is it going to train wreck as badly? But when you haven't played the tune a lot, it's really exciting. It's a real adrenaline for me anyway. I dig that.
No, I've had that same experience.
Yeah.
Most of the music that I record is instrumental, jazz, violin, and instrumental things I've written. And we often go into the studio, assemble musicians, and we haven't necessarily played these tunes or even played together as a band.
Yeah.
Maybe send out a demo ahead of time or something, and maybe we'll, kind of run through it a little bit and rehearse some little parts or something. Then we'll say, okay, take one.
Yeah.
Boom, we play that. Okay, that was pretty well. Let's do take two. Boom, okay, that, and 3 takes. And I can't tell you how many times we go back to the original take. Was the best one. You're just, you're not going to overplay. You're not that comfortable with it yet, but you want to do a good job, so you're kind of on edge. It's kind of exciting, and everybody's, moving around. And sometimes the more you get comfortable with things, then you start getting creative, and you start playing too much, and you start deviating from that original seed. So you're right about the first time you play something with a group, whatever. It's often the little gem.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I kind of feel that way about when I first write a song too sometimes, where like oftentimes those really terrible recordings on my phone that I just slap down, they're great. Like those are the gems because that was the original inspiration, I don't know. Yeah. And then sometimes they just sound terrible. It just depends.
Well, there's that. There's always that.
There's both. There's definitely both.
Well.
Yeah, give us another tune.
Okay, well, this is one that I dug up from the phone stash recently.
All right.
It was in the archives, as I told you. I wrote this back when I was in school at McNally Smith, which Mr. Randy Sabien was a professor there for many years. And I think it was a composition class, or ensemble, and I had to write this song. I think it kind of speaks for itself. This one has a lot of words, so listen carefully. And it had to do with my frustration of coming into the world as an adult and learning what that means in our system. And the ways that it doesn't really work for a lot of people. And a lot of the people that I saw around me, myself included, it sort of feels like you're just climbing this escalator that's going backwards sometimes. So that's what this song is about, frustration.
All right.
And there's a little hope at the end.
Thank you for throwing us a bone.
Yeah.
A day when the world collides with your youthful ways and the daydream dies. Now there's something else here, something cold inside. And the wise ones say, hold on to your dreams, don't let them get away. But when the behind, it's hard to say. When the path has led you astray. If it's what you love, the pressure will get to you soon enough. If it's what you hate, just gotta pay your dues and make it through till holiday. And the wise ones say you must invest in something now so you can live a better way. So just make your choice and start the race. This is how you play. And in time, you will forget the pain. Make your fortune, leave your mark. Is this all there is to come? Playing a rigged game in the dark. Is this what dreams become? You will put your time under lock and key, and now your paycheck defines where the hours go, if you're warm or cold, if you're dead or alive. You will stand in line with a million more just like you, fighting to survive. You will state your cause, no one will care. You will just keep trying, and it's only for the rest of your life. Make your fortune, leave your mark. Is this all there is to come? Playing a rigged game in the dark. Is this what dreams become? Make your fortune, leave your mark. Is this all there is to come? Playing a rigged game in the dark. Is this what dreams become? Is this what dreams become? Is this what dreams become? There must be something I wish I could write a
Orchestra?
song like that. Good. Wow, that's
incredible.
I wish I could write a song like yours, Danielle.
Oh, no.
I'm always getting so complicated.
I love it. I constantly feel like you guys are up here, and I'm kind of like hanging out down here. But I learned so much from you guys, and it's just a treat that I even get to share the stage with all of you. This is so cool. Thank you
Likewise.
for having me as part of this, by the way.
Well, I have a question for all of us, actually, because I sort of feel like everyone I talk to feels that way, you know? Mm-hmm. Where there's like this, I'm not good enough to be a part of this. And is that something that you've experienced? Like, what? Do you want to chime in on that?
Yeah,
or?
sure. Definitely. There's great value in playing with people that draw you up. Even if it's just in your mind, they pull you up. Yeah. And I've been a big proponent of putting yourself in situations where you get your butt kicked a little bit. I think that's a really great thing, and if you don't do that, we all know that leads to bad things. Lack of perspective, and I think it's just very handy. But, one thing I think is really cool here is I was talking to my wife about the age range here, and I have always noticed there are musicians who think about age, and there are the musicians who don't think about age. And I was always playing, when I was in my 20s, I was playing with 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. That's what you do, you know?
still are.
Yes. But I think that's really cool because, music is, I don't even think about it. I don't think about how old anybody is or how much background they have. It's just, what do you bring, And you guys, you bring it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I put my bands together, I'm usually hiring rhythm sections, bass players, drummers, keyboard players, guitar players, and I always try to make sure that I'm the weakest member of the band. So far, so good.
Oh, no.
You do. You want to be pulled up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's cool when you can all pull each other up in different ways too,
Yeah.
which I think is it's cool to work with musicians of your caliber, where it's like we all have our different strengths.
And
It's
that's the interesting thing about this lineup here is that it's called a songwriter circle, but we're all strong instrumentalists besides. When Danielle is singing a song that she wrote, we're accompanying her. She's got a little band, and we just go down the line like this, and we each have a little band, and that's very cool. A lot of people who are professional songwriters, they can write songs really well, and they can accompany themselves, but to find, musicians who are songwriters, singers, and they can play the keyboard, they can play more than one instrument, they can arrange, and that's what we have here. It's a powerful assembly, and just like on that last tune, Ed and I are improvising little string parts. We're looking at music, but they're just chord progressions, and to be able to improvise a symphonic string part, with another string player, that's pretty cool. And then to have Ed able to accompany himself on his own song on the cello instead of the guitar, that's unique. We just take it for granted up here in Schwalmingen Bay that, every cello player can do what Ed does. It's just like, oh my gosh.
well, I think we
You're
should take it on the
unique, Ed.
road.
Yeah.
All right. Randy's going to close the show for us with a beautiful tune. And thank you so much to the Big Top for making this happen. Really appreciate it. I want to just take a moment to thank Travis Johnson for the sound, and Tom Drawn for the visuals, and Abe Clark for the editing and the help now, and also Terry Meyer-Matier for making this all happen. So, thanks.
All right, this last tune is called the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe that's why you put it at the end. But
go.
You just never know where songs are going to come from. I don't really necessarily try to write a song, but I can remember, where I was when I wrote any particular song, And this one is in a weird place. I was doing a string residency in Dodgeville, Wisconsin, working with the string program there. And I had maybe an hour or 2-hour lunch break. And there I was alone. He was eating, a lunch, and there was a piano, so I started fooling around, with a little chord progression. And some lyrics came to me, and I just started writing them down. And I didn't even intend to write a song, so I wrote all these things down, little ideas. And then later, a friend of mine popped in, and I said, I've just been fooling around on this thing. Here's what I got. And she said, she was a professional photographer. She says, I have a photograph that is exactly what you just wrote. And so I went over to her studio, and there it was. Cool. A photograph. Everything that I wrote in this song was in that photograph.
Whoa.
Cue the creepy sounds. Yeah. Okay, here it is. Cool. You might want to say, well, I hope the photograph is better than the song. But we'll see what happens. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see a bend in the road ahead. I can see a break in the clouds up above me. I can see the place where I've been led. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see the fog on the other side. I can see the va-da-da-da. I'm just going to do that again because I've just, the classic thing is forgetting your lyrics, and even though they're right here in a little cue sheet here. Remember your own song. 2, 3. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see a bend in the road ahead. I can see a break in the clouds up above me. I can see the place where I've been led. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see the fields on the other side. I can see the darkness that surrounds me. I can see the walls where I want to hide. I feel my shadow spinning, dancing round and round. I feel like a new beginning as it turns me upside down. You know this journey's nearly over. I hear a whisper in the wind. A new world waits around the corner. Here I go again. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see the forest and the trees. I can see the fog on the hills in the distance. I can see the place where I long to be. I see the old tracks disappearing of one who went before. But I do not know who's steering. I can't hold on anymore. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see a bend in the road ahead. I can see a break in the clouds up above me. I can see the place where I've been led. I can see the place where I've been led. Hi, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Beautiful.
We'll see you next time.
Well, folks, that's our Tiny Tent Show for tonight. A beautiful musical circle, even if it wasn't a straight line. Thank you for tuning in, for taking the time. If you're able to sling a little something in the virtual tip jar for the musicians and the folks behind the scenes who are putting these shows together, please do so. We always welcome sponsorships and donations, and specifically want to thank sponsors for tonight's show: Jim and Joy Perry, Fiorio Wealth Advisors, Von Holzen Chevrolet Buick GMC, Haukaas Law Offices, Anna Biermeier and Roger Hanson in honor of Giving Tuesday in 13 days. Well, folks, thanks again for visiting with us. As you know, around here, we don't say goodbye. We just say, well, I suppose. I don't think we even say suppose. We say suppose. Forward.